her sister, Vindemata, the Duke of Mercia, Matablunt of Ithios, the Dukes of Westmore and Orr, and Ardos or York, had all joined together against the weakened king, and they summoned Celida home. Today it had come to a head here at Strongwater Castle, at the edge of the march on the western coast of Moria, where the king returned from a voyage to Hispania. Ravassos was welcomed back to Eremore's shores with swift violence. The rebels had crushed the king's forces beneath banners of ancient Eremore houses, the lion and bluebells of Bolingbrooke, the eagles of Westmore, the wolf of Perseria, the oak of Mercia, and the coursing river of Orr. As if the very animals of land and sky, the bones and veins of Aramoria, agreed it was time. Dead sprawled across the battlefield, and the injured sat or limped with the help of comrades, but most of their soldiers remained afoot. The surrender had sounded before too many casualties fell. And Hal had survived her first real battle. It bore repeating. It was a triumph, no matter what else. Her shoulder throbbed and the gambeson under her mail shirt stuck to her side from the seeping blood. She'd survived. She'd killed. At least 3 soldiers she was certain of, and others would die of wounds she'd inflicted. Her stomach churned as she thought of their families, their Eremore families. In his diaries, Maury Morris the Great had written, "Never ignore the consequences of your actions, for such ignorance alone makes your actions unjust." It had been academic until now. The consequences of her actions had been more along the lines of dragging squires into punishment with her for sneaking into the throne room, or hangovers, or regrettable mornings after with girls who had run home to their husbands or fathers, or a bone bruise from picking a fight with Banna Mora, and worse, the charged disapproval of Lady Yanta Oldcastle's frown. The consequences of childhood, Hal thought, are gentle guilts and awkward memories. The consequences of adulthood are ghosts. But there, Hotspur Percy stood surrounded by soldiers, blood smeared like autumn leaves across her face, the vivid splatter turning her eyes lightning blue. As orders flew past her lips, her teeth shone pink. Blood sharpened the flavour of Hal's tongue too. She wanted to kiss that other bloody mouth. Hal stared at the flaring aggression, the living command that was Hotspur of Perseria. It was an easy pull to feel, to be drawn towards the Lady Knight, and Hal wished she weren't so weary, so nervous. She wished that instead of muddy armour she wore a splendid suit of shining silver mail, her hair combed and fresh. Anything to capture Hotspur's attention in return. The almost prince stared too long. Her horse stomped. Hotspur's gaze swung around and slammed into her. Hal, startled, pushed a fist into the air and called, "Lady Hotspur, I've word from Mercia." Wind scoured across the space between them, jerking Hal's hair free of its braids. The black strands whipped about her cheeks and tangled in the buckles of her armour. Hotspur lifted a gauntleted hand in response. Was it Hal's imagination, or did the wind die at the gesture? She could not bring herself to dismount, but directed her horse toward the other woman. An aide in Percy green spoke urgently in Hotspur's ear, and Hotspur nodded, eyes on Hal the entire time. The Lady Knight's mail hood was pushed back off her head, pooling against her neck, her cap gone, and so her wild hair was tangled and torn. Some dark orange strands stuck to Hotspur's pink cheeks with sweat and blood. "Hotspur Percy," Hal said as her horse picked delicately over a broken shield. "I'm Hal Bolingbrooke. I'm commanded to bring you with me to the gates of Strongwater Castle, where your aunt, Vindemata of Mercia, and my mother, Celida, have the king." Hotspur nodded at Hal and put a hand on the aide's shoulder. "Unhook my chest plates, Senos." The young man, plain, his face shadowed with strain, helped her out of the plate armour, swinging it over his own shoulder when she was free of it. Hotspur wore a dark green gambeson beneath. Her sword belt was empty, her boots muddy up the calf.